Hey everybody, we're out in Apache Junction today working on a manufactured home from 1987, so it's got a little bit of age to it, not terribly old, but we've got a crawl space and some extra buildings. Take a look at this. So the front of the house, we've got a lot of pavement going on up here. We've got access to our crawl space right there, which I'm about ready to get into. We've got a membrane roof that's just been resealed up on the top. Looks good, nothing concerning about that immediately. The buyer did pull me up, or the seller did ask me to take a look at something right away and ask me if this is a problem. So what it is an electrical wire coming out of a box, and then it splits into two more, and then one of those wires feeds that little lamp that points up at the flag, and then the other one's going to feed these two lamp posts out here. So they're all on a timer based down there. And the problem with this is just that we have exposed wiring. If it wasn't for that, it wouldn't be a big deal. But we have exposed wiring and some exposed slices there, splices. So that makes it concerning, in my opinion. We do have irrigation, a little bit, an old irrigation valve down here. Main water line comes into the house through this direction. Now we got a couple big palm trees up on top, but let me take you guys around back. I'll show you what's going on back there. So let's get walking around the building, show you guys a little bit of what's going through my brain today. A lot of pavement here, a lot of cement. So I'm trying to look at where the water is going to go. This looks like a little bit of a swale down here, so the water is going to come out and kind of sit right here. It's either going to come out this way or it's going to go out towards the inside yard there. Either way, it's not a really good place to drain water. It's just kind of sitting there. I know it's Arizona. It doesn't drain or rain all that much, but you guys saw the termites that were under there. All those termite tubes are right there. That's where all this water is building up and going into that wood, bringing those termites up into our house. Luckily, I didn't see anything over at the house today for termites. There's a few cracks around the property that need to be sealed in with some caulking. Just want to make sure that we don't have any monsoon rains coming down, causing some damage. Lots of concrete, several buildings on this place. So we've got a modular house, big deck on the front, and then we have a 25-year-old train unit back here, heat pump, still working, but 25 years old. It's got some age to it. Then kind of a custom-built backyard patio here. So this is all enclosed. I'm not sure what all this staining is. Looks like hydrochloric acid, to be honest. It looks like it etched a lot, so it's some type of acid. Anyway, you can resurface this if you want. We do have a nice crack coming right here, and another crack kind of starting right here, coming towards the middle. So if this comes all the way through, we get another one over there. It's coming in from all four directions, so it's possibly from moisture. The one thing I noticed, this is kind of a trough back here. So in between these two buildings, they've got this thing running water. So this is, look, they've got a PVC pipe down there to let the water flow out that way. But let me show you where this actually goes. Actually, let me show you in the garage here first. Nice little workshop garage, insulated, so it's super quiet in here. I would love this garage. So this is a newer door opener. It's working just fine. It's just a push button. Got GFI outlets out here. I'd like to see the lights covered with some type of shield just in case one of them shatters and it doesn't fall back on you. So we've got the panel out here, the sub panel connected to both the garage door openers. Now this one, the owner told me that it's wired up to the surge protector, so if a storm came through, it doesn't fry this one out. I can understand this is more of a power strip than a surge protector, but it does say protected, so maybe it does have protection. Nice and quiet doors. Now, one thing I want to point out, this is an older door. This has no safety protection. This door was installed with no safety sensors on the bottom. Now this door was replaced because of some problem with it, and the newer doors will have this safety sensors built in. This is a little bit of a vent that they put into the wall. It's kind of a makeshift thing, but this is a shed. I'm checking the electrical, which a couple GFIs weren't working right, but other than that, not too much. Now, on the back side here, in between these buildings again, this is where all the gutters are. So we got a gutter here, and then you have roof runoff here. It all is going to collect in here. Where's it going to go? I mean, we've got these little troughs here, and it just goes right through there. And there is an underground drain, but it's all blocked off by this concrete right here. So I'm not really sure if the underground drain is still functional or not. Otherwise, you wouldn't have put those to direct the water over here. Now when the water gets over here, where's it going to go? Now we're just looking for more drains. There's another drain over here that's actually above the level, so I don't know how much that's going to help. So the water comes out here. Is it going to come this way? Unlikely. Unlikely. Oh wow, something going on down the street. Apache Junction, fire and EMS. Yeah, I'm glad they're not here. 3 little buildings on the property. Nothing in particular, but this one is termite damaged, severely termite damaged on the bottom here. So just be careful walking on that. It's got some movement. But other than that, the other 2 sheds are pretty straightforward. Nice storage buildings for you. Put stuff in. Now they always use wood floors, so it's gonna get termites at some point. And you have this little damage back here. I'm not worried about it. You're always gonna have a little bit of staining up there. They use the wood to help bring some structure to this building. The wood is gonna get a little stained. That is all normal. This building that's a little bit closer now, I think about roof runoff, water runoff in this area, because we've got this board here and the siding actually extends past the concrete. So we're gonna get some roof, there's just some rainwater just go down in there. But another thing on here, and the seller walked right to it immediately, and she was like, oh no, they should have fixed this. And I'm like, yeah, they should have. It's not that big of a deal. It's loose conduit, just have them fix that little conduit right there. And we don't want exposed wiring, and we want our lights to work, which they do. So we know electrical is okay, but she was freaking out over that little wiring. Like, it's just some wiring. Honestly, if that's all it is, be happy if that's what they ask for, because that's probably going to be under $100. You know, you just don't want them to ask for the roof or the AC. The Last Supper, love that stuff. Bring some personality to the place. Then on the back side of the house, you have your main electrical panel. Breaks everything off, 200 amp service. Master shutoff right there at the top. And this looks like a door, but you can only get it from the inside. And she did ask me to relock this, so I'm going to snap it back on for her. We have our plugins down there that are not GFI protected. Wood backing board. This thing is gonna fall apart before this panel does. Just keep that in mind. That exposed wood like that is net the best. Overhead service. Going right out to the alleyway back here on the back side of the property. Lift master, that's an old sensor. But and then this one, she was saying it can be finicky. Sometimes it doesn't want to close all the way by itself. The other one was giving me problems, but this one was acting just fine, even though she said this is the one that's finicky. So I'm trying to close this garage door and this thing keeps backing up on me. It gets about a foot off the ground and then it just stops and reverses. See, I don't know what's going on, but it needs some maintenance. Yeah, you don't find most garage doors that quiet ever. So going back into the property, this is that door that doesn't open from the outside. It's kind of unusual, but not a big deal. I do have a washing machine out here, and I believe this is the shutoff valve for the water underneath the crawl space in there. And then there's another shutoff for the water here. So not GFI protected either. These modular homes, they put the fancy water heater behind these little panels. It's okay if you screw it in. Just use screws that people are going to be able to carry, or use typical screw heads. This is a star screw. Most people are going to carry that. This isn't even a star. This is just an Allen wrench, but I'm getting it to work because I don't have a star head. Otherwise, I would have to say I can't inspect this water heater. Well, I got the water heater cabinet. Looks like an old Reliance water heater. It's hard to tell the year on it. Looking at the serial number, looks like it's been worn off by this hot water thing bouncing back and forth every time it gets turned on and off. No pan under here. It's only a 30-gallon water heater, so we don't have a whole lot of capacity. You could put probably a 40 or 50 in here. There's plenty of space if you want to do so. We've got a, looks like a shark bite type PVC line coming out of the TPR valve. I'd like to see copper, but as long as it's a rigid pipe. But we have a galvanized connector right there starting to corrode out, connected to the TPR valve. So you want to remove this off and make sure you have a nice clean flow. If this thing ever does pop off, you don't want anything to restrict it, so that calcium or the rust buildup that's on the inside of this galvanized pipe that we can't see could be an issue. And we talk about flow problems in the house. Well, how many of these 90s are you going to put in this guy? Well, a lot of these pipes you can just loop around. I don't know. I'm not a plumber, but this seems excessive with the shark bites directly on top of the water heater, and this just pushed right on top, and this looks like it's actually pulling these hoses down, you know, because I'm pushing this back up, holding it. There's no support for the pipes, so these pipes are probably moving like this every time it turns on and off. Water heater moves too. Yeah, unsupported PEX pipes. No bueno. And just look at the stress on that joint right there. I know it's shark bite, it shouldn't pop off, but look at how that thing is angled up on there, and it's just stressing it, right? Probably not the best install. So I'm testing out the bathroom sink here for flow, and this is max flow, man. Even with both open, that's all you're getting. Just doesn't seem right. Seems like we should be getting a lot more. Looks like they updated a lot of the plumbing here and put some PEX in. But the size of this drain, I would imagine this thing would be draining a little bit faster. Watch this. That's just really slow for the amount of water that was. Having the same issue going on here at the bathtub. Got water backing up all the way up here, but this drain spout stop is wide open. Yeah, it's wide open. It doesn't open any farther. So why is it not draining? It's not just a slow drain, like it's hardly draining at all. So I don't know what's going on with the flow here. I'm gonna have to get in the crawl space, see if I've got some access to the sewer lines. Maybe I can do a quick sewer camera inspection. So I got the AC on right now, and I noticed that there is a lot of suction going on. So we're sucking air in from all over the house, but we're all sucking it in right here at the central air. So without these floors having more gaps, I mean, that's a pretty big gap right there. I don't think you need to do anything about it. It's just, if there was an extra air return in this room, that would help equalize a little bit of this pressure. It's not the end of the world, but help you close your door at night. Now, compared to the other bathroom, you see a difference? This is just the hot side. Even the cold side is better pressure than the primary. And watch how fast it drains. That's a really flat bottom sink, so that's got a really good drain. That other bathroom back there, we got some problems with it. So we're gonna check the toilet. Nice and solid. Modular home, these floors are not always solid, so you're gonna get a little bit of movement. Wow, look at how tight they made that go between flex line. Oh, you gotta give yourself some slack there. That's not good. I mean, is it good? Yeah, it looks solid, but anytime that toilet moves or something, you've got the possibility of breaking this line. So it's just a little bit too tight. You should have a little bit of slack back there, just because you don't want water leaks if it does break. So looking around the shower here, this is laminate flooring. We just really want to be careful of water getting below this laminate. We don't want to create any water damage, especially on these wood floors underneath here. This is all wood. It's not concrete like we're used to seeing. And these showers, you wonder where this rust is coming from. So a lot of this plumbing has been fixed. Well, kind of fixed. Not really. They left places where we can get in there. We've got access panels drilled into the wall where they replaced the PEX, or they replaced polybutylene plumbing, which is down there on the bottom. They cut it and left it as evidence, you know, draw a chalk mark around it. But they also left the galvanized plumbing fixtures. So they ran PEX up to the shower head. What is that? Oh, that's just mud. But they didn't replace this galvanized piece here. That's why we have limited flow. That's why you're seeing rust in that hot faucet in the bathroom. We need to get rid of this. This thing is rusting from the inside out. Look at all that corrosion starting to come through the threads. And that starts on the inside of the pipe. So I'm going to go to test this now, but the shower head, there's no shower head really. It's just a hose with a shower head on top of it. So we'll see what kind of water flow we get. Hot. I feel that grinding in there. I can feel the rust and corrosion breaking loose in there when I turn this valve. A lot more so than I can feel it on that side. Thing gonna even turn on. Still have decent flow. So I mean, you're getting that because of the galvanized back there. In my opinion, this stuff should be taken out of here before it causes any leaks below your trailer. Because what that'll do in Arizona is once you have water leaks underneath your house, you'll end up getting termites. We don't want termites, but... So this other bathroom looks like they've had the same issues here. Yep, you can see the old polybutylene plumbing. They left the lines here. Actually, one of these probably is loose. Yeah. This is polybutylene plumbing. You can usually find it marked PB somewhere on here. We're really just looking for the gray pipe. If I see gray pipe, it's no bueno. Built in the 80s. Looking for this stuff in the 80s. If you still have it in the house, it's time to replace it. But you can see the old water lines were coming up from the bottom there, going into the same type of valve on the other side. And you wonder why the hot side is all rusted out and the cap is missing off that one in there. Take a look. It's almost identical as the other bath. There's no rust here, but there is a little bit of rust starting to form on that. We're missing the cap, so there's more corrosion on this. Your hot side gets a lot more gunk in it, and you're going to get a lot more of that than the cold side. So I just pulled the air filter out, and we're looking at a downflow. So this air handler is sucking air through the filter right over the coils this way. I feel like I'm getting sucked into here, but You can see a little bit of corrosion on here. It's not bad for a 25-year-old system. There's really not too much going on other than a little bit of cleaning down there at the bottom. A little bit of maintenance on this guy, but it's really not that bad. So the air gets sucked in here and then it gets sucked right through those coils there. And that's where the air exchange happens from the hot and the cold. Man, I don't know how I'm supposed to get in there to this thing. They like lock this thing up hardcore. Alright, so there's our American Standard air handler behind our nice wood panel here from 2020. So this was manufactured the year I graduated high school. Not to date myself or anything, but see a little bit of the condensation that builds up right there. Condensate drain going underneath the house. We're going to look for that in the crawl space, but yeah, all in all, not too bad. Really just want to make sure how dirty this thing is. If it needs to be serviced, which I am going to recommend, we get somebody to get in here and clean out all that debris. There's a lot of stuff built up in here that just needs to be cleaned out. Sometimes when they put these new sinks in, they don't get the water cord quite right, and it gets wrapped up down here and twisted up. That's the counterweight that helps pull this thing down. You can see this is all twisted up down here, so it's not going to come out quite right. Alright, I'm knee padded up. Let's see what we can get in there. Look at all these termite tubes. Look at all those termite tubes coming up out of that crack. Those are just like little termite colonies. That's kind of cool. Right by the hatch here. So look, you've got termites going up that porch right there, this decking. Let's see if we can't find any more of these guys. A little bit of water staining on the outside of this. It's gonna bring them in, but they came right up this expansion joint crack. Look at that, trying to build off the ground there. That's why we gotta have 18 inches of space, because they can find that wood straight up. Right, let's keep moving. Some more termite tubes here. It's a little bit of a colony, old tube. Now this is just the front deck, and then that's the manufactured home crawl space over there we have to get to. Oh boy, what are you? Oh yeah, look it over here. That's a termite tube as well. Goes all the way down. See, they just tunnel right up to the water stain. Water staining, termites, kind of the same thing. I just wanted to see if there was any crawling around today. Usually when I find old infestations like this, they're usually not active. They've likely been found before. Oh, even looking up at the floor of the deck, got some rotten boards. You wouldn't be able to see that because it's carpeted. And just this whole bottom board is just water stained like crazy. Got a couple cobwebs in here. Just a couple. Some more water staining right here. But I don't think this is from roof runoff. Look, we got a old saddle clamp installed right here that had been leaking. I'm not sure what that goes to. Really small copper lines. That kind of looks like a mess right there. A lot of shark bites that, I don't know what's, yeah. Let's just keep going. Looks pretty consistent all the way down. Water staining. Let's go down a little bit farther. More tubes. More spider webs. Big tube over here. Look at that one. That termite tube goes all the way up to the decking. Yeah, I don't think they're active today. They've likely been here for a long time. Remember, this house was built in 1987. Doesn't mean this deck has been here since 87, but it's possible that, look at that damage up there on that wood. Is that natural? It's pretty solid, but I've had a lot of water staining in these areas. Quite a few spots where water has come right through. So it looks like they've sistered these boards up. From termite damage, likely. That's what I'm thinking. Look at all that stuff in there. See all that little, looks like sand. That sand is termite tubes. That's a termite tube right there. So they got up into your decking. And they ate away a lot of this crap up here. Look at all that. That's all termite damage. They knew it was here because they sistered the boards. Water stains, termite tubes. Termite tubes. Look at that guy hanging. Whoa. Look at those guys hanging. What did I get myself into here? We got more hanging up here. We got termite tubes everywhere down here, guys. Holy shit. Look at that guy. Oh. Yeah, you probably don't want to go down underneath the manufactured home. You probably don't want to go down there because it's really hard. There's a lot of spider webs. You don't want to move around underneath. That's why I come down here. Because this is where shit happens. This is where stuff goes through, water goes through, anything goes through the decking, and you're gonna find it down here. You might not see it on the decking itself because it's carpeted, it's covered, right? But you get down here in the crawl space, you get to see all this fun stuff. Yeah. Look at those tubes. It's all up in the decking. Crazy. Oh man, look at that fun little plastic hummingbird broken. See, these are, even the boards that were sistered are rotted out. This is what they use to sister that board, is damaged by termites. More termites. More water staining. And that guy is dang near down to the ground right now. Kind of hard to see there. That's probably 18 inches. Oh, I want to touch it. I want to touch it. Oh, it moves. Oh, it broke. And then it just falls in a bunch of pieces. But that's how they were getting up there. Going from the expansion joints in the concrete, finding the damp wood, crawling right up. more sistered boards from more damage. So this outer sheathing of this patio, the floorboards, I don't know. Probably gonna want to do some repairs on them at some point. Ouch. Yep, some more termite tubes back here. Water stained board. Look at how rotted out this board is. Look at that. And they sistered it with a 2x4. Not even the right size. You can see they've had to support this deck a few different times, a few different places. Got another big tube over here. Now we're on the far side of the deck. Opening is way over there now. No, you don't want to go in the crawl space. There's all that aluminum and metal down there and stuff. Yeah, that's where all the fun stuff is. Oh, look, all this is old termite tubes. These are all old termite tubes. If you look up here, that's what they're from. They were there and then they fell down and broke apart in a million pieces. So obviously the insulation in this area is null and void at this point. They've likely pulled it down so they could replace the polybutylene plumbing with this blue and red stuff. That's PEX. You can see they were using polybutylene and then piping it over to the PVC pipes and going straight up. And they've abandoned those PVC pipes and attached PEX. And those PEX lines should run all the way to the fixtures. But in this little area right here, probably be a good idea to cut that polybutylene out of there, get all that out, push this insulation back up to the floor so this isn't wide open. But hey, at least I can see that there's no termites under there yet, but look at all the nails. They're rusting out down here because it's damp down here. Put that insulation back up where it needs to go, and it'll be good. Okay. Still moving. Look at these. Look at all these tiny little round things, huh? Usually don't see that from termites. Usually see that from like an ant or something. God, termite tubes everywhere. Okay, we're gonna take another peek down here. Oh well, this is not supported anymore. Not like that one is. Where's the wood? There's nothing in it. There's no shim. Yeah, you've got a mixture of PVC and polybutylene. That PVC goes back down into the ground. I think it goes out to the yard. I'm not 100% sure on that. And then this PVC pipe, I believe, yeah, cobwebs. Is not really connected to or not supported. So you see this bracket up here where it's supposed to hang, and now it's not. That would have helped support that, and that feeds the plumbing in the front yard. And yeah, you can just see how unsupported that is right there. And the mess that is their plumbing. There's so many cobwebs down here today. Ugh. Alright, so you got what, main water coming in, I believe. Then you're distributing it through that's obsolete. This isn't even, it's not even connected to anything. None of that is. That's all old. Damn plumbers just leave shit the way it is. There. It didn't need to be there because it wasn't connected to anything. Now we can see our old lines, old polybutylene and PVC. We got a new combination of PVC, copper, PEX, shark bites, yada yada. Okay. That's going to be hard to get under that little space there. Ugh. Dryer, lint all over down here. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, the dryer is exhausting right down here somewhere. So all the PVC pipes are no moss, no more. Ah, more dryer lint. Oh wow. More tubes too. Look at those guys. That's kind of cool. Just random termite tubes out in the middle of nowhere here. All your dryer vent is right there. It's just coming right down into the crawl space. Absolutely no attempt to even get it out of here. Weird. This is all dryer lint. And your drain over there on the ground. Another drain here. Alright. Have any termites under the stairs? I don't see any big ass spider back there in that corner. Can you guys see that? You see that guy? Yeah, it's a big old spider. Not concerning. But let's get out of here. Oh, I'm stuck. Ugh. Yeah. Found the termites though, right? And it looks like the buyers are here, so I'm gonna meet them, talk to them about the house a little bit, show them some of that termite pictures, and just give them the all around what's going on this property. It's kind of a cool property. Nothing crazy going on. Termite damage, old AC, old water heater, galvanized fittings, a couple GFIs weren't working, a couple electrical loose ends. So definitely want an electrician out here. And that's the biggest thing, the pest damage on the deck. It's not the house, it's the deck. So is it a problem? Yeah, you don't want anybody to fall through it structurally, but it's not the end of the world either. Could be a lot worse. Termites are slow here in Arizona. They're hippie termites. They're from the West Coast, so it takes a while to get anything done. So I'm Home Inspector Dan. I'm gonna get this walkthrough going, but I'll catch you guys on the next one.